if you realize she has no structure, she's all over the place, red flag, go in the opposite direction. There we go. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome. If you're watching this, you probably are new. You're probably, somebody that just came across this video and want to know about red flags. If that's the case, then welcome. My name is Kiana Williams. I am a life and relationship coach. This channel is a place where healthy relationships are able to be cultivated and nurtured by first working on yourself. So this is not the place for us to complain, for us to be the victim. This is not the place for that. If that's what you're looking for, you'd probably be happier somewhere else. This is the place when you want to work on your stuff and you want a healthy, safe environment to do the self-work. And this is also a place for you to work on and prepare yourself to have healthier relationships. That's what this is, okay? So I'm super excited because this week we're talking all about red flags. So last week, if you missed those videos, go look at them. But regardless, last week on Thursday, I posted a video and it was just talking about the 5 mistakes that women are making that are preventing men from committing quicker. On Sunday, I did a live stream and it talked about the 5 characteristics that make men more attractive to the types of women that they want. Great conversation, so make sure that you go back and check out that live stream. I had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but the content was great, so just go back and ignore the beginning of the video. But regardless, I'm super excited because in talking about those things, I think it behooves us to also talk about how men and women can do a better job vetting each other. I think a lot of times the culprit of a lot of the bitterness and discontent that men feel about women and that women feel about men is the fact that we don't really know how to go about dating in a way that's intentional, in a way that can kind of offset some of those bad experiences that we're having with each other. So videos like this one are going to be crucial in helping us do a better job vetting up front for both men and women. So today's video is about the red flags in women. Ladies, on Thursday, there will be a video talking about red flags to observe in men. I'm equal opportunity over here, y'all. I'm holding both sides accountable, and hopefully we're gonna make some matches happen when we have 2 accountable parties that have worked on themselves and that wanna be better and that wanna do life together, okay? So, without further ado, if you're interested in more content like this, make sure you check out the Dating Academy playlist. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you share this video with your sister, your son, your brother that needs to understand how to better vet. And let's get into the video. All right, so the first red flag that men should be on the lookout for as it pertains to the type of women that you do not want is that she lacks discipline. Discipline is really important. If you are a man that says that he wants to lead, he wants to be the head of the household, he wants a woman that is going to follow his lead, you need a woman that is disciplined. And the way that you can tell if a woman is disciplined is if you look at her consistent activities over a week, over a month, over the last 6 months or a year, and figure out, are there things that she is consistent with that she doesn't necessarily enjoy all the time? So what might that look like? Maybe that looks like her going to the gym regularly. Maybe it looks like her going to Bible study regularly. Maybe she's in therapy regularly. You have to find someone who is disciplined and that makes a commitment to do something on a regular basis, even when she doesn't feel like it. And the reason why I say that that's going to be very important for a man that wants to lead is a woman that is disciplined. She has order, she has structure in her life, and that type of woman is going to be more receptive to what you're trying to do if your intention is to come into her life and to lead her and the family towards somewhere great, towards your purpose, your mission, all those great things. And again, look at her activities. Inquire about what she's doing and not just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Because we like to do that in text message, but what has your last week looked like? It would be really nice, potentially, and I can, I'll put that down in the description box. It would be really nice as an activity that men can do with women that they are interested in or that are dating if you start to utilize like a habit tracker. This is something that y'all can do together, an activity that you can say, this is a good leadership opportunity, okay? You can say, let's do this habit tracker together. This is gonna track our habits, our activities over the next week. Y'all sit down and then at the end of the week, you discuss what you did at different intervals throughout the day for each day of that week. You do that week over week, month over month, and then you continue to have these conversations. Or if you realize she has no structure, she's all over the place, red flag, go in the opposite direction. There we go. The number two, the second red flag is she lacks self-control. More specifically, so like in the last one about discipline, you know, her going to the gym regularly, watching her eating, those kinds of things, that is one form of discipline. But specifically in this red flag, I'm talking about how does she respond in an argument. It's really easy to be really nice and really pleasant when y'all are on really good terms, when everything is going well, when y'all are laughing, joking, spending good time together and whatnot. It's easy to be pleasant then. I am of the belief that people don't get out of character. Pressure reveals what you're capable of. So if she in an argument is, you know, she's hitting you, Matrix. Sorry, that was my dog. If in an argument she is hitting you, she's aggressive, she's just, her behavior is distasteful, then I want you to pay more attention to that than how she is when y'all are on good terms. We have to have self-control. And that's really for men or for women, but true character is definitely revealed in the tough times and the hard times and the hard conversations. And so I want you to, and then also look at how does she respond to other people in difficult times. So if y'all are out to eat and the server gets the order wrong, how is she responding? If somebody gets in front of her in line at TJ Maxx or Marshall's, how is she responding? I think those are going to be more telling of who this woman actually is. A lot of times, I think when we see behaviors that we don't necessarily like and they're not directed at us, we tend to want to ignore them and act like, oh, okay, well, she's just doing this to them. If she did it to them, it's not so far-fetched to believe that she may do it to you in a situation where y'all are not, you know, on good terms or where y'all are at odds or not agreeing. So I want you to pay attention to that. What does her self-control look like in moments where everything is not okay? In moments where maybe she's stressed out? How does she respond to you when she's had a bad day? Because a bad day is not an excuse to treat people negatively, to be nasty, to be rude, to be disrespectful. A woman with self-control, even if she's had a bad day, she'll say, you know what, babe, I need some time. I've had a tough day. Maybe she'll, you know, maybe get a little quiet or reserved, but she's not going to just be popping off at you. That's a red flag, okay? So, and that's not to say that she's a bad woman, that she's a bad person. She's just not a good fit for a relationship right now. Okay, so I want to make sure that we make that distinction because there are a lot of beautiful people who are not necessarily healed enough to be good partners within a relationship. Healing is a journey. It happens, I think, on a spectrum. I think as long as we are alive and we are interacting with other people, we're always going to be healing from something. But I think that there is a level of healing that is necessary for someone to make a good partner. I saw something yesterday and it was on TikTok, and the girl was saying that she had heard this from somebody else. And she was saying that we communicate to our level of self-awareness. So the way that I act, the way that I respond to you, the way that I communicate with you is only going to be so far as the healing and the self-awareness that I have accrued up until that point. So if I am someone who is not even aware of how I'm feeling, I'm not aware of how different things affect me, I'm not going to be able to control my emotions as it relates to how I interact with you. So again, that doesn't mean that the person is a bad person. They may just not be a good fit for you. And that's the whole point of talking about these red flags, is that you can start to kind of see these signs and these signals that maybe this person isn't a good fit sooner. It allows you to exit that relationship without being super affected or negatively impacted. And then you're able to find someone that is a better fit for you. Okay? All right, number 3, the third red flag is that she does not prioritize learning and growing. that is a huge red flag, and I'm going to give you some examples of what it might look like for somebody to prioritize that. Some of that actually came up in the discipline red flag. You want to see what is she's pouring into herself, because whatever she's pouring into herself is what is going to come out. So I'm not saying that she has to be super religious. If that's not important to you and a woman and a wife and a potential partner, then, you know, don't look for that as what she's pouring into herself. But sermons can be an example of that. Does she read regularly? Does she listen to podcasts? When she's watching TV, what kind of stuff is she watching? When she is on YouTube, what kinds of videos is she watching? Is she watching stuff like this that nourishes her, that helps her kind of take an inward look and say, like, what can I do better? How can I be better? Or is she looking up drama pages? Is she constantly on the shade room? No shade to the shade room, but, you know, is she looking at those kinds of things? How is she feeding herself? What is she pouring into herself? I would say that the best partners are people that are constantly invested in growing and evolving. So you want someone, if you are someone that is working on yourself, you want someone that is also doing the same self-work. Does she go to therapy? Does she seek counseling? What kind of pages is she following on Instagram? Because those things are also being poured into her, whatever she's consuming. What kind of conversations does she have with her friends? Is she always talking about gossip and drama? Is she always bringing you gossip or drama? Is she able to maybe teach you something? I know that for a lot of men, as I talked about earlier, there is this desire to be a leader. But you don't want a woman that just doesn't have any perspective. And the way that you gain perspective is through learning, is through listening to other people's viewpoints and their perspectives. It's not just going with people that think exactly like you, because if everybody is just like you, there's no room for growth, because you're all just regurgitating the same information back and forth to each other. So if you want a woman that is going to be able to multiply, because those are the types of women that I focus on when I'm talking about the women that you want, the assumption is that you want a woman that is capable of taking where you're at and helping you multiply that as you're continuing to lead y'all in your union. So if you want a woman like that, she needs to have some type of perspective. She needs to have some opinions about things. She's not just there to kind of sit on the side, because how do you multiply something when you're not engaged in what's happening? When you have, you know, you're just kind of apathetic to what's going on. She needs to be constantly learning, evolving, and if she's not, red flag. All right, number 4, we are almost done. This is the 4th red flag that I believe men should look for when they're engaging with women. She doesn't take pride in herself and her space. I think this is a really important one. Now, I know that there's been a lot of conversations about what men like in terms of, you know, a woman's appearance, not necessarily. Some men care about a woman wearing weave and makeup. Some men don't. Some men are like, well, all of it is fine as long as it looks natural and it just kind of enhances her appearance. Some men don't care about the long nails. Some men care about the nails. Like, so all of that is personal preference. I am gonna say this, and y'all can feel however you want to feel about it. I think that your preference is your preference, so go with that. However, I think the more important thing to focus on is, does she just take pride in her appearance though? So does she, if she is wearing makeup, does she care about her skin underneath her makeup? Does she wash her face? Does she have good hygiene? If her hair is in protective styles like braids or weave, does she take care of her hair underneath those things? And taking care of it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is perfect, but does she take some interest in improving these things? Once again, lifelong improvement, the desire to evolve and to grow. Not necessarily does she wear the clothes that you like, does she wear her hair exactly how you like it? Yeah, at some point when y'all are in a relationship and y'all are together, then I advocate for women working with their men. So if I know that my man doesn't like me wearing red hair, I'm not going to do that, because I want to work with you and what you like. Also, her space. So when you go to her house, what does her bathroom look like? I'm not saying that she needs to have the best decorations from Z Gallery and, you know, she has this $500,000 house and everything is just decorated to the T. I'm not saying that all women are not necessarily into that, but is her space clean? Did she try? Did she try with whatever budget she had? Did she try? Or every time you go to her house, it's a mess unless she knew that you were coming up. See how she lives when she's not expecting company. And I'm not saying to be stalking this woman. I'm not saying to just be popping up all times of the day and night just at her house. But you need to try to see how she lives when she's not expecting company. Because that says a lot. That's what you need to be focused on, okay? So it's not necessarily about design preferences in, like I said, like the way she wears her hair, because those things can change over time. Like that's something that you can work with, in my opinion. That's something that you can work with. But does she take pride in her appearance? Are her nails always chipped and her cuticles always a mess? Like those are the things that I think are more important. And when you're talking about red flags, it's not about the length of her nails, because you can easily go to the nail salon and cut those. But does she take pride in her appearance? Is she clean? Those are the things that could potentially be red flags, okay? All right, number 5. The 5th red flag is that she's not a good listener and she is not observant. So I kind of lump those together because I think that they're related. So when I'm talking about her not being a good listener, fellas, I understand. A lot of women, they don't listen. A lot of women lack basic communication skills. I'm with y'all on that. I'm with you on that. So I want you to really pay attention to that. Like, does she listen when you speak? Is she listening just to respond? Is she listening to understand where you're coming from? And you can tell by people's responses because sometimes in conversations, y'all are just missing each other. Like, you're maybe communicating in a way that she just can't receive and vice versa. But then sometimes you just are determined not to listen. And if that is the case, that is definitely a red flag. Now, in terms of the observant piece, I think that they're linked to each other, because if you're not listening to me, you also don't know much about me. So if she is just not paying attention, she doesn't know anything about you, and as a result, she's not able to give you the things that you require or that are important to you, that is definitely a red flag. And it's very difficult to have a healthy relationship with someone that doesn't listen to you. It's very difficult to have a healthy relationship with someone that doesn't understand you. And so you definitely need to look at that as you're thinking about your options in terms of women. That one I think is pretty straightforward, pretty self-explanatory. You can tell when somebody's listening to you. You can also tell when someone is not listening to you, but that also requires effective communication. So you gotta communicate, you gotta learn how to do that. And so we're definitely going to cover that as we move forward through our Dating Academy series. So yeah, I hope that was helpful for y'all. I would love to hear your thoughts on some of these red flags and kind of hear some of your experiences. Men, what have been your experiences? Have you seen some of these red flags in women and then didn't necessarily recognize it at the time, but now looking back, you're like, yeah, that definitely was a red flag. She didn't listen to me, and I should have paid attention to that, but I missed it. And then ladies, are you able to observe any of these red flags in yourself? Are any of these things that you struggle with or that you're working to improve? Let me know. Leave a comment down below. And then if y'all want any more content like this, make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you share this video with somebody that needs to see it, male or female, because again, the ladies may look at this and be like, yeah, I gotta do better. And so yeah, make sure that you subscribe if you're not already. And then ladies, make sure that you come back on Thursday to hear the red flags that you should look for in men. So yeah, I'm super excited about this series just in general, and I'll see you guys next time. Happy dating!